The discourse on the rights of inquiry is currently rolling in the House of Representatives. The idea was first launched by presidential candidate number 3, Ganjar Pranowo. Ganjar's proposal was also supported by presidential candidate number 1, Anies Baswedan. To discuss the issue further, we are now connected with a researcher at the Institute for Advanced Research, International Islamic University of Indonesia, Gede Dwi Tia. Hello, Pak Gede. Thank you very much for joining us in this conversation here on Focus today on TVR World.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Right. On to my first question to you. There have been quite significant numbers of figures across the nations expressing their doubts over the outcome of elections in 2024 here in our country. How do you view the organizations of our election this year? Do you concur with the ongoing investigations on the frauds by different parties? How do you view the disputes? Right, Pak Gede, can you hear me?
Yes, could you repeat your last question? I couldn't hear you right.
Yeah, my question to you is, how do you view the organizations of election in 2024 here in our country? And do you agree with all of these disputes currently going on, stating the fact that they are election frauds? How extensive are they, in your opinion?
Okay, thank you. Certainly, we can see that the General Election Commission is being challenged by allegations, and especially there has been some technical problems regarding the electronic recap system, the CRECAP. I think it's a common process, yeah, that people complain about certain errors, yeah. However, we have to keep in mind a fine line between honest human error and the systematic and massive structured fraud. Yeah, the latter one is the one that is might significantly affect the whole election processes. However, we need to empirically investigate that and provide evidence, and it is quite difficult. Without sufficient data, we cannot establish that widespread election fraud has taken place. Yeah, and post-election dispute is rather common in democracies, yeah, especially in young democracies. And there is an institutional mechanism to accommodate those disputes. According to the law number 7 of 2017 on our general elections, problems related to administrative part of the election will be handled by the election supervisory agency, while any motion on contesting the result will be taken to the constitutional court. And we have to also bear in mind and remember that the election process is not yet completed. The official result has not been announced by the General Election Commission. I think we need to be patient and wait for the official result to be announced first.
Somewhere hovering over 70% currently. We're waiting for the 20th of March on that. Regarding the demand for the House of Representatives to conduct an inquiry on the possibility of fraud, and as you say, that's a fine line to discuss. How do you think is the impact of these evaluations on behalf of the House of Representatives for the elections, rather the presidential elections in 2024, and how does it exactly work?
Okay, but before we talk about impact, I think we need to understand that this is not an easy process. Yeah. First of all, you're right. We need to understand how this works. There needs to be at least 25 members of House of the Representative to file those motions, and there need to be coming from more than one party. Afterward, the House will hold plenary session to consider those motions of, exercising the rights of inquiry. At more than half of the members of House Representatives need to attend those plenary sessions and to approve. And it means 288 members of the House of Representatives need to attend and approve those motions. And it is such a difficult task, yeah, from those presidential candidates, because they are not party leaders. They have to internally convince the party leaders supporting their candidacy to file those motions. Yeah. Only after that we can talk about impact. But most importantly, this is quite unusual. Election result need to be officially announced first, and then there is an institutional route to challenge election result, which is going to court.
Right. So,
This,
okay. So we
yeah,
assume
this one
yeah.
is more political, and the political route is not easy. There are going to be coordination problem and all that.
So we suppose from your explanations, things can only roll out in the House of Representatives after the 20th of March, after the official vote tally has been announced. But on that note, should it be conducted at the House of Representatives, how long do you think it will take for the inquiry to take place?
It's not easy to tell. It really depends on how smooth the talks between party leaders and whether they can internally, convince factions within the party to agree with the idea of set this rights of inquiry or hak angket into motion. And that's not such an easy task yet. PDIP and the United Development Party alone, the total number of members in the House of Representatives is not enough to set this into motion or make it effective. They need to reach out to Anies supporting parties as well, and they all need to agree. And there is also a possibility that other member of House of Representatives from other parties that will block the motion. So it will going to be a protracted process in my view, because this is political processes and not an easy one, to be honest.
Right. Let's try and take a look at other nations. Have you received any information of any other countries around the globe that have conducted the same case here as Indonesia, where the House of Representatives conducted an inquiry and challenged the results of a domestic election?
Yes, thank you. In my view, this political process is quite unusual. Yeah, usually losing candidates or parties go to court. So they take the judicial route instead of the political or parliamentary route. And as far as I'm concerned, for example, in the US, the parties losing in the election goes to court and file lawsuits instead of going to the parliament. So in my view, this is quite unusual in a democracy usually. Yeah.
Right. Pak Gede, there have been quite some opinions going around about this inquiry rights of House of Representatives, because it doesn't exactly going... Okay, I think we're losing you there. Pak Gede, are you still with us? Yeah, we are trying to get connected to the researcher, Institute for Advanced Research and International Islamic University of Indonesia. Apparently, we have lost connection there. However, we thank you so much for your insights and your time here on TVRI World. Moving on.